There is one question that can stop an autism parent in their tracks. What happens to my child when I'm no longer here? That question hits different when your child depends on you, not just for money, but for guidance, structure, protection, and for somebody who truly understands them. My son CJ had me in his corner since he was 2 years old. But the truth is, I want to always be here. I don't like saying that. I definitely don't like thinking about it. But loving CJ means preparing for a future that may not include me. Today, we're going to talk about the fear, the guilt, and the plan, because avoiding this conversation won't protect our children. Welcome to Autism Through My Eyes, real talk from a dad who lives it every day. I'm Craig, a father, advocate, and dad to an adult son on the autism spectrum. Now, this show is where we talk about the real side of autism parenting. The victories, the struggles, the questions we don't always say out loud, and the lessons you can only learn by living it. If you're a parent, caregiver, educator, advocate, or somebody who wants to understand autism beyond a diagnosis, you're in the right place. Let's talk. The fear we carry. Most parents worry about their children, but autism parents can carry a different kind of worry. We don't just ask whether our children will be successful. We ask, will they be safe? Who will recognize them when something is wrong? Who will make sure they aren't being taken advantage of? Who will understand their routines, communication triggers, and needs? Who will love them without treating them like a burden? And then comes the hardest question. Who will do what I do when I'm gone? That question makes you feel helpless. It can even make you feel guilty for getting older. But guilt doesn't create a plan. I had to understand something. Thinking about life without me is not giving up on CJ. It's one of the deepest ways I can show my love for him. See, my job is not to pretend I live forever. My job is to use the time I have now to build as much protection, independence, and support around him as possible. That's hard, but it's necessary. Now let's talk about independence and how it doesn't mean doing everything alone. For a long time, many people treated independence like an all or nothing goal. Either a person could do anything alone, or people assume they weren't independent. I don't believe that. Independence can mean knowing how to ask for help. It can mean completing part of the task without assistance. It can mean making choices without the right support in place. With CJ, I have to ask, what can he do today? What can he learn to do tomorrow? And where will he always need support? That requires honesty. See, I don't underestimate him because I'm afraid. But I also can't overestimate his abilities because I want to feel better. See, the goal is not to force CJ into somebody else's definition of adulthood. The goal is to help him become as capable, confident, and safe as he can be. That may include practicing everyday skills, following a daily routine, preparing a simple meal, handling basic money decisions, taking medication correctly, using transportation safely, knowing and trusting people and emergency contacts. Every skill we build today is one less thing left to chance tomorrow. And here's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. If I'm the only person who knows how to support CJ, when I haven't created a support system, I've created a single point of failure. That's real talk. Parents know hundreds of small details without even thinking about them. We know what certain looks mean. We know which situations can become overwhelming. We know how to calm things down before they escalate. We know the doctors, medications, benefits, routines, favorite foods, dislikes, and the people our child trusts. But what happens if all that information stays in your head? That's why families should consider creating a written letter of intent or care guide. Now let me tell you what it explains. The person's daily and weekly routines, medical information, providers, medication and allergies, communication styles, sensory needs and triggers, food preparations, benefits and important account information, work, day program or community activities, transportation needs, trusted family members, professionals, what brings comfort, joy, and stress or fear, the person's goal, preferences, and vision for their own life. Now, this document should not be written once and forgotten. Life changes, needs change, people change. Review it regularly, and whenever possible, the plan should include CJ's voice. This is his life, not just my plan for his life. Now, another truth I had to face is that one future caregiver cannot replace a parent. That is too much responsibility for one person, and it leaves the entire plan vulnerable. CJ needs a circle, a tribe, not just a name on a piece of paper. That circle may include family members, close friends, medical professionals, advocates, case managers, support organizations, faith community members, and others who genuinely know him. But naming people is not enough. They need to begin building relationships with him now. They need to understand his routines now. They need to know what responsibility they are agreeing to now. This is also where families may need professional guidance about matters such as supported decision-making, guardianship or alternatives to guardianship, government benefits including SSI and Medicaid, Medicare waiver services, a special needs trust, beneficiaries designations, life insurance planning, housing, and long-term care options. I work in insurance, and I still believe no family should try to figure out every legal, benefit, tax, and financial detail alone. The rules can be complicated, and one wrong setup could create problems for the person you are trying to protect. Talk with qualified special needs planning, legal, tax, benefits, and financial professionals for your family situation. Now, when families hear future planning, many immediately think about money. Money matters. Housing costs money. Care costs money. Transportation, health needs, food, and daily living all cost money. But a pile of money without instructions, responsible people, and the right legal structure is not a complete plan. The real question is not only how much money can I leave, it's also who will manage it responsibly. Will the way it is left affect CJ's benefits? Are the beneficiaries on my policy and account set up correctly? Does the trustee or responsible person understand CJ's needs? Is there enough liquidity for immediate expenses? Does the plan reflect the life CJ wants? Parents, please don't assume that writing a child's name directly as a beneficiary is automatically like the best decision. Get advice that is specific to special needs planning before making or changing those arrangements. Protection is not just having assets, it's making sure those assets reach and support the right person the right way. And this is my promise to CJ. CJ, if you ever hear this episode, I want you to know something. Preparing for a time when I'm not here does not mean I'm leaving you. It means I love you enough to think beyond my own lifetime. I want your future to be built around who you are, not around what the world assumes about you. I want you surrounded by people who respect you, listen to you, protect you, and still challenge you to grow. I want you to have choices. I want you to be safe. I want you to have purpose. And I want you to always know that being autistic never made you less valuable. You changed the way I see fatherhood, patience, strength, and unconditional love. I cannot control every part of the future. No parent can. But I can prepare. I can document. I can teach. I can build a team. I can put protection in place. And I can start now instead of leaving everything for someday. Because someday has a way of showing up before we're ready. If this episode made you uncomfortable, don't run from that feeling. Use it. This week, take one step. Write down the 3 biggest concerns you have about your child's future. List the people who truly know and understand your child. Start 1 page of a letter of intent or care guide. Review your beneficiaries and schedule a conversation with an appropriate professional. Choose 1 independent skill to practice consistently. Now, you don't have to complete the entire plan this week. You just have to start leaving it untouched. If you know an autism parent who lies awake worrying about this question, share this episode with them. Then leave a comment or send me a message. What is your biggest fear about your child's future, and what steps are you taking now? Your answer may help another parent realize they are not alone. Follow or subscribe to Autism Through My Eyes for more honest conversations about autism, adulthood, family advocacy, and preparing our children for the future. The goal is not to create a future where CJ never needs anybody. The goal is to create a future where he has the right people, the right protection, and the strongest voice possible, even when mine is no longer in the room. That is not fear talking. That's fatherhood, planning ahead. This is Autism Through My Eyes, real talk from a dad who lives it every day. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep advocating.